everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's episode of Love and Flow TV. We are so excited because we have something special tonight, right, ladies? Yes. We have something really special. Before we get started, though, I'll just give everybody a chance to say hello and good evening.
Awesome.
I'll go first. I'll go first. Good night, everybody. Good evening, everybody. So excited to be back on the show tonight. We have been warming it up. I hope you guys have been enjoying all of our fun, creative intros and videos that we've been doing. So we have something special and fun and exciting tonight. So I hope everybody's excited.
Kimberly.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Kimberly Mcgee, and I'm super excited like everybody else to be here tonight because we've got, I'm just going to give you a little taste of what's about to come.
She brought out the cigar tonight. She got the cigar tonight.
Awesome.
Tonight.
Yes, that's a good prop.
So anytime something happens, I'm going to
All right, well, I'm Kimberly as well. I'm excited about tonight. Go ahead and share with your networks. Go ahead and share and let everybody know that we are live. Remember, we're only live one time a month. And so tonight we get to bring on some special guests. We have been talking with them for all of this week. We've been plotting, and and so we are going to go ahead and bring them on now. All right, so go ahead. That'll give you a minute to like, tag, share, as they say. First up, we're gonna bring on Bro Kurt Cornelius. Kurt.
Hey, Cornelius.
What's going on?
How we doing? Love and flow, yes.
Love and flow, yes. And we are. How are you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic. Listen, when I was growing up, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to be a coach, and I wanted to be on Love and Flow. So.
Your dream has come true.
Yes.
Next up, we have another fella of the Broco Show. John, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm working on my internet, so hopefully you can hear me. But I'm excited. I'm excited. We're looking at some of what we'll be discussing, so I'm ready to go.
Awesome. All right. Then last but not least, he's back there jamming. We have Bro Troy.
Yes, indeed. The bros are in the building. Let's get it. How you ladies doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Suited and booted. Dressed for the occasion. You know how we do.
All right. We like it.
Awesome. All right. So we got some people in the audience speaking. Let's shout out the audience. Dava says, good evening, ladies. You all look so beautiful as always. Thank you, Dava.
Hey, Dava.
Hello.
Then we got Al, the great co-host of Coffee, or one of the Coffee and Collaborations hosts. Al says, hi, ladies. And Jay Dwayne Barnett, we were on the Brother Empowerment a couple weeks ago. Jay says, hello, ladies. So now that we have the gents, now that we got the fellas in here, got a couple of hellos. All right, so Kimberly is going to open us up in prayer. We always like to open up in prayer.
Let's go.
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity, Lord God, to show your excellence in everything that we do, Lord. We just thank you right now for everyone here. We also ask that you extend the blessings to our audience and to our sponsors, Lord God. Father God, we thank you in that you expand our territory. We speak wealth and prosperity. We speak creativity and growth in the name of Jesus. We thank you for this moment. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So, bro Troy, tell us a little bit about the Bro Code Show before we move any further. All right. Let me give you the spotlight.
I got you. First and foremost, let that bang hang, Kim. I love it. I always tell you that the started the show 6/21/20, Father's Day of 2020, with the intention of using our slice of influence or our voice to learn, for people to learn more about ourselves and to discuss, dismantle, justify, and uncover and discover all of the issues that affect us most as brothers, as community, and as a family. And we've had a pleasure to give it to you raw, uncut, and real respectful. So that's at the Bro Code Show on Instagram. We've had the pleasure of talking from education to the judicial system, to the NFL, to the NBA, social justice, covering college students, any aspects that would cover trending topics or things that affect us most. We use our platform to be able to discuss that. And as Grandma would say, chew the meat and spit out the bone.
Awesome. I mean, it sounds very impactful. One of the reasons why we wanted to collaborate with the Bro Code is because of some of the things that you guys are doing in the community and what you represent. So everybody ready?
Oh, we've been ready.
Y'all ready?
Yes, we're ready.
All right. So I am going to turn the what is it? The wand, whatever, the controls over to my co-host, Kenya. Did we lose Dion?
I think so. It's okay though.
Oh, let's
pop back out.
All right, so I'm gonna turn the show over to you, so that I can make sure that Dion is good to go. Everybody's in here good to go.
Okay.
All right. And we have a great plan in store for you all.
Awesome. All right, so we are going to start the show off with Battle of the Sexes trivia questions. So you guys ready? All right. Question number 1. What outfit would be most appropriate for a black tie event? A cocktail dress or a full-length gown?
What you think, fellas? I think it's the first one. What you think?
You got like what? What's the case supposed to be like 5 seconds, right?
5 seconds. Do. A full-length dress or gown or a cocktail dress? Full length?
Yeah, we're gonna go one.
I'll say one. We'll go
full length. Give us some points.
How are we tallying this, Kimberly?
Do y'all know the difference?
Yeah, do they know the difference?
Well, tell us. Engage us. Are we right though? Can we get our points though?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Tally. Who's tally?
I'll tally.
You gonna rock this one out, Bro Smith? You wanna take this one?
All right, I got one. In poker, what is the best hand that an individual can have? What is the name of the best hand that an individual can have?
Is it a flush?
In poker.
It's a flush? No.
That sounds right, Kenya.
I don't know. 21? No.
You're getting colder.
Are we doing technically?
No, because there's different types of flushes. You have to be more specific.
Well, look now. I think it's just, I don't know all the technical times, but I think it's a flush.
It's a flush.
It is a flush. However,
I'm gonna ant that one. That's an
we should at least get half a point for that.
I'll give you a quarter of a point.
No,
because there's a flush. There's a straight flush, and then there's a royal flush, which a royal flush is ace, king, queen, jack, 10, all same suit.
Hold on a second. Hold on. We gave you options for your question. We didn't get any options.
The questions had to be now. Hold on. Now you want to make the rules. You know how you put whoever you decide now. Oh no, you can't play like that. That's not how this works. Right.
All right.
Each question is 5 points. So that means, do we at least get 3 points for that question?
Yeah,
I'll give you 2.5.
2.
All right.
You do 2.5. That's like, splitting the check.
Okay, 3. We'll do 3.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. All right. Who has the item for the second question? Do you guys?
Oh, let's go to the third question. Let me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Third question. How often should you replace your mascara?
I certainly.
We don't get multiple choice on this.
No,
we
you
get-
don't get any
friends?
choices. No. No.
Yeah,
Can we
that's a good one.
do a
for
shout out to
y'all.
the crowd? I don't know.
We didn't really put that into the rules, but you can do a shout out to the crowd. Sure, why
All
not?
right, crowd, we need y'all. If anybody loves us, obviously I don't have hair, nor do I need mascara. So I'll on my head at least. A full
Listen,
house.
if
You
y'all
late? Come on,
could've
Lakeisha
done that
Gilbert, you
right,
late. Yeah, you late.
I
too,
would've
I
Gilbert.
know.
been surprised.
Sounds like relationships too
You
funny.
said every 4 hours. That's funny.
No, that's not
Every
it.
4.
No, I'm gonna go every
90
A
days.
month?
every
No,
90
every
days.
90 days.
90
Every
days.
90
I
days.
said
Oh,
90 days.
did you
Right
guys
here.
Google that? Did you Google that?
Give us the
Nope.
point.
I don't work that fast. I
I think
promise
you
I-
Googled that.
Hands are here.
No.
All right.
Hands are right here.
Okay.
Is that right?
Well, you're right. Every 3
Oh,
months. Yes.
Oh my God, they got it. Oh my God. Oh my God.
They got it right. All right.
Okay, you ready for the second question?
Kid said every
Well,
4 hours.
And every 4. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
I don't know if
funny.
he's right. I mean, what
Said
is it?
every-
Is there like rules? I don't know.
Yeah, don't try to play us like that. Don't try to play us.
It's the fella's turn to ask a
Okay,
question
it's
now.
your turn. Okay.
Kurt, you want me?
And
You
then
got one, Kurt? Or you want me to take it?
You go first. I'll take the next one.
This one's not. This one really. So this one has to deal with cars. Okay. So what color is transmission fluid?
It's clear.
No,
Oh, clear.
it's not. No, it's not. It's
Or-
not.
or-
Transmission fluid.
Three,
It's not.
two,
Transmission fluid is
one,
burgundy red. It's burgundy
and-
red. Burgundy red.
Is it
Burgundy
green?
red. Burgundy
You right.
It's clear like water.
Whoever said green, please mute your mic. McGee
It's
was
not
right.
It's burgundy red. It's
It's
burgundy
red.
red.
You're right. It's the color of
Okay.
it. Kim, high five you, Kim. Can I get a pound, McGee? McGee, give me a pound. Oh, there you go.
I will say,
Hold on.
Listen,
Hold-
that's
hey,
what happens
hold-
when you've been single for so long. You have to change your own transmission fluid.
Hold on.
Or you a boss.
Can we figure out what kind of water Kenya's putting in her transmission? Because she said clear.
None.
yeah, that's the first answer.
None.
Wait, something that's
None.
green, you guys. Windshield wiper, something.
No.
Fluid is green.
no.
Antifreeze is green, is it not?
Antifreeze is
It's
green.
yellow.
Okay,
No,
all
it's
right.
yellow. It's yellow or orange. Antifreeze is not green. It's yellow or orange. It's not green.
So
Okay,
there's
okay.
nothing. There's nothing clear that goes into your engine or vehicle.
Except
No?
water. That's it.
Water. I mean,
That's
If you
it.
don't have any antifreeze, you put water in there. I mean,
Right,
maybe.
you
right.
got, if you
Yeah,
got
that'll get you a few
broken down car,
miles.
you might need a whole lot of water. I mean,
Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
some
You
clear
ready
stuff.
for this one, Kimberly Mcgee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So hold it up.
What is this called?
I got the same one.
you got to put her big on the screen. I can't see it. Make her
Oh,
big.
God, I
Make her solo.
Yeah, solo her out.
What is this
Oh, you
called?
use that to dab makeup on your face. I don't know.
But what
it's
is it
What
called?
is it called?
I don't know. It's
A dabber. I don't know.
3,
Instead
2,
of dabber.
1.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
Makeup
It's not
No.
fair.
Makeup applicator.
No.
Makeup applicator.
A sponge.
No, it's called a beauty blender. A
Now,
beauty
who in the
blender.
world? How in the world would I know anything about?
Well, how'd I know what
Okay,
color
Kim.
transmission fluid was?
Exactly.
Sponge. That not too bad. Ken Branson.
You got it.
Can
You
you
said
get
a foundation sponge.
Sponge.
Okay.
If you had said foundation sponge, we would have gave you a point for that one.
I like dabber.
But
There you go, right? Kurt, you
All
got
right.
one, Kurt?
Yeah, I got one. So which former NFL player has just started coaching for HBCU? And I will give you some of the names.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I'm a nice guy. Is it Emmitt
Thank
Smith?
you.
Right. Is it Emmitt Smith? Is it Ray Lewis? Or is it Deion Sanders?
Deion Sanders.
That's
Now
who
she
I was
looked down at her
thinking.
phone. I don't know.
I
What
did
was
not.
that?
I
What was
did
she
not.
looking at?
Were you
I did not.
Okay,
I
okay,
didn't
hold-
do anything.
Hands up.
I
Kimberly.
didn't do anything.
That's
Sure on that.
Kimberly. For bonus points, what school is he coaching?
Oh,
Nah.
come on, dude. Like, seriously? Oh my God. I just saw this on ESPN. Son of a sea serpent. Oh, man. It's not
Son of a sea
A&T.
serpent.
It's not A&T, is
No,
it?
indeed.
Shoot.
You got to get your 2 points back.
What do you mean 2 points? I answered it. It was Deion
Yeah,
Well, I'm
you
talking
did.
about the 3 from the first question.
I don't
get-
know. I can't think it's his. It was with his son. Dadgummit. I can't.
Well, so you said that was a bonus part of the question. So
Yeah.
she got the answer right. So
You
we
did.
get the full 5 points.
You do.
We just don't get any additional
And
bonus.
it's Jackson State, by the way.
Yeah, that's it. Dang it. He was with his son.
I would have never gotten it. Never.
Me either.
I
Don't
ain't
don't
heard
feel
nothing
bad,
about
Dion. Me either.
I don't know
So,
what they're
so
talking
what's the
about.
score? Are we ahead? I think we still ahead. Or is
No,
it tied up?
no,
I think we're tied.
No,
Well,
we're
you got
ahead
like a
because
quarter of
y'all.
a point the
No,
first
they-
one.
No,
But you got the beauty blender wrong completely.
That's right. So you
But we
missed that
didn't
one.
get 2 5-point ones right though, right?
That-
No,
Uh,
you only
It's
got
tied.
no. We're ahead
It's
by
tied.
13. No, we're ahead by 3 points because we got
Okay.
3 for the first answer. I'm taking.
Let
Okay.
us go back though. Hashtag son of a sea serpent. Kimberly. What was
Where did
that?
come from?
That's when I try not to curse, but I need to get it out.
Son of a
Where
sea
did you
serpent.
hear
Wow.
that one?
That's my,
All right.
you know what that is, the SOB. So
All right. Dion, you got the questions in front of you?
I don't because I had to
Okay.
switch to my phone.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. All right. Question number 4 from us. No one puts baby in a corner. What movie is that quote from?
That's easy.
Ooh, this is a classic.
That's dancing. That's Dirty Dancing.
Dirty
Ah!
Dancing.
Yeah.
No one puts baby in the corner.
Look at
Nobody.
that. Right there.
All right, JC.
Nobody.
Awesome.
All right, so
Y'all's turn.
all right, I think I got one.
Okay.
So in the game of football, what does the initials or what is the acronym for PAT?
This
In the
is the
game of
second
football-
football question. That's not fair.
In the
I
game
mean,
of football,
I could give you a different one if you want.
Yeah,
what does PAT mean? What does it refer to?
All right. So since y'all used the lifeline earlier, can we use the lifeline now?
We didn't actually. Well, why not?
You
Yeah, we definitely
ladies
need
in the
for
audience.
this. Yeah. 'cause I have
PAT.
no
What does that
clue.
stand for?
PAT.
I don't know.
In the audience, ladies.
Please.
Is it okay? So is it specific to a team or is it
touchdown.
specific to the game?
It's a function of the game. It's
game.
a,
Yes.
Play a timeout. I don't know. I'm using
Point
every
after
word.
touchdown.
Oh,
Point
You
after
can't-
touchdown.
you can't
After
take that from the,
touchdown.
you can't take it from the guy. You got to get that
No,
from me.
yeah.
No, Ken is on our team.
Oh, no.
He's our team.
we didn't get that point. Our time was up.
Our time was up. We lost it.
We lost that point.
That is
All
right,
right.
though.
All right, well,
That is
thank
right.
you.
Point after
Thank
touchdown.
you, Ken. Team.
Yeah, we would've
team
never
Love
gotten
and
Team Love and Flow. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
we would have never got that.
No.
Never.
I knew it, but I forgot it. Okay, go ahead. Oh, it's our go. It's our go, Ken.
Yeah, it's our go. All right. Which finger should you use to apply eye cream?
You say finger?
Yes. Which finger should you use to apply eye cream?
It's a trick question.
Is it your index finger? I'm not flicking you off, but is it our middle finger?
Ken, don't leave. Don't leave.
Is it our thumb? Which finger?
Kiss the pinky.
I'm gonna have to go with the index finger.
You said the pinky. He said, I think
Where's it going? It's going here.
Eye cream.
Eye cream. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the pinky. That looks real sophisticated and bougie. Yeah, that looks bougie. Yeah, is that right?
I don't know the answer to this, honestly, because I think there's no right answer.
There is no right answer. It's anything you want to use.
Oh, okay.
I
certainly would have
I
known
was
that.
taught the ring finger. I was taught the ring finger that
I
you and you dab.
I use two fingers.
Yeah,
I use two.
So we'll give you half a point for that one.
It was a
Okay.
trick
No,
question.
As long as you chose the finger, it seems.
Yeah. Any finger you got, right?
with the pinky being bougie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do that one now.
I know. I kind of like it.
It does look a little bougie though, right?
Yeah, like I like the little pinky. I like the little pinky.
All right,
All
fellas.
right. Whose turn now, or are we done?
We have one more question. So y'all,
Okay.
we started, right?
Yeah, is there a question?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one you want? You got it, Jay?
You want to go the baseball one, or you want to switch it up? Get out of
man. I got one.
Okay.
So, how frequently do you have to rotate the air in your tires?
You don't rotate the
Rotate
air in
the
the
air.
tires. You don't rotate the
I
air.
tried.
in the tires.
I tried.
Rotate the tires.
I tried.
What do you take this
Just
for?
rotate the tires.
I tried. I
Rotate
had to
the
try
tires,
you.
not the air.
You know, I had to try you because
It's
you
like
said green.
gas.
I had to try you. So,
You know, Kenya working higher education, man. Come on.
Rotate the air.
People gonna start pulling
All
air
right.
out of people's tires.
I know, right?
Okay, so we got a point for that one because we don't rotate.
We should get 5
We get 5 points
We
for
got
that.
5 for that one.
because it's a non-question. Look, Lakeisha said he tried it.
He
We tried
did.
it, yeah,
Lakeisha said he tried it.
yeah.
Cheryl said what? All right, so
All right. Our last question.
okay.
Okay. Who did Sarah Jessica Parker play in Sex and the City?
Ooh.
Mm.
She had a
Do
lot
y'all
of
even
shoes.
know who that is?
It's Carrie.
She had a lot of shoes.
Yes!
Yeah, I know
Good
it.
job, John!
Get it, John.
Awesome.
Get it, John.
Yes!
Get it, John.
I've been forced to watch a lot of shows over my lifetime.
Well, I hate to say, but I'm glad to say that the men beat us 23 to 18.
What?
Yes.
It was
23 to
rigged.
18.
We asked too many football questions.
Good job, guys. Oh, let me get my prop out for the fellas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations, fellas. Congratulations.
I like the
Good job,
drive.
guys.
Congratulations. Appreciate it. I accept
You,
it.
you all have an acceptance speech prepared. So now let's move on to the topics.
Yes.
To the topics. Y'all ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
All right. So we have a lot that we want to talk about because as you guys know, as women, we always have a lot of questions for men, and men also have a lot of questions for us often, even though they don't always admit it. But this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, I think, for us to learn about each other, at least from the 7 of us perspective. And so let's dive on in. We have some stuff from previous shows that we haven't had a chance to really talk about. So we're going to bring some of that stuff back up. And then we have some new things that we're going to talk about as well. And those of you who are in the audience, if you have some questions or thoughts or anything along the way, please put those in the comments because we want to be sure to be interactive and communicate with you as well. Stick around for the show. Share it with your friends. We have some more to come, some more fun as well as conversation. All right, so let's kick it off. Are we kicking it off with mental stability in men? Are we gonna go hardcore right from the gate, y'all? What
I
you
like
think?
mental stability.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, go.
Yeah.
How about Kimberly?
I say let's go for it. Let's do it.
All right, so crucial conversations. Some of the stuff we've been talking about is written and verbal communication between men and women. And I know a lot of people say, what is it? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But many people don't like that sort of concept because it's like, are we really so different? I think everybody has a different experience and gender plays a role, but are we really as different as we think? And so, let's talk about it. One of the things that we have up here is see it versus receive it. So a lot of times women have this thing of just kind of cutting people off. don't talk through things. It's been happening a lot through this season with the pandemic, where it's like, okay, do you really have the support of people? Some people have felt alone. It's like, who is my real crew and all of that, right? And so that's what we want to talk about. Is this something that is just a overall female thing? Even though I'm not like that, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not like that, but I think a lot of people feel that women are like that, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
right. So is this an overall thing, fellas, that you see or you think is a female thing, or do you see that among yourselves as well? We should have an order of who's gonna can y'all all just crickets. So how about we start with Troy and then go to John, Cornelius, if you have some feedback.
So what's the question again? Is do as men we do what?
Yes, so people feel like it's more of a female thing, like just to cut people off, to walk in our emotions when it comes to communication, and we don't really have the hard conversations. But is that something that men can attest to, agree with, or do you guys feel that is across the board just a female thing?
No, absolutely. I think I always say we're built for it tough, but we're driven by emotions. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. Emotions have a way of taking hold of anyone. As far as cutting people off, that I think that depends on the person. If I think for some men that's easier to do than others. Sometimes you have to let go of relationships, and learning how to sever ties, I think, is part of growing up and being mature. So, obviously the time and the place for everything, but I think that comes with a case of maturity. But I think that's based on the person, But I think identifying that part of you is necessary, and I think that's okay.
I'll give you a less filtered answer on that one. I do feel as if women, especially Black women, are often put in a spot where, especially from a corporate realm, that it seems as if they mute themselves purposely to not be considered brash, angry, whatever tag gets thrown to them. And so I can see where that thought process may come down. I think as a Black man in that same environment, we pick and choose our battles as well. And so from the interruption standpoint, I grew up in Jersey and, hung around a lot of Jersey uptown females. And I don't even think it's a female thing, but just a culture thing that leads them to interrupt more so than men, in my opinion. But I hope I answered both of those questions.
Yeah. What about you, CK? You can just dive on in, like, did we lose him?
At least they get the frozen face, but
I see spinning. All right, so yes, that was great. And I wonder, ladies, do you have some feedback? What about your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So, Cornelius is back. You want him to go ahead and give
his
thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah. No, so communication is universal, and it's a human issue. So it's not, you can't say one thing. I agree with JC. In a corporate setting, it's a little bit different, but on the streets, I give respect, so nobody cuts me off. But I also don't cut other people off either. I do see women, I think, do that a little bit more than males do, but we struggle with different areas of communication, which I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think Cornelius is right. I find that women, I know I'm guilty of it as well. I find that some women, I think women do have a tendency to cut people off probably more than men do. And I think some of that is just from making sure that our voices are heard, because we haven't had those platforms where our voices have been heard or they've been dismissed. And I feel like we make sure we want to get it in, particularly our point, if it's something that we're passionate about and that it is particularly if it's a hot topic, if it's a hot issue. I do see that probably more so. Here's my problem with this is that, of course, I can get a pass because I look white, of being like vocally aggressive, and nobody says anything to me, or, if they do, they don't dare say anything, versus my black sisters or my counterparts who could be right there with me, and they can have the same tone and say the same message, and it's taken as hostile versus if I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. Go ahead, Dion.
No, I was just going to add that somewhat of the same situations, but at the same time, I think that a lot of it is like learned behavior from our childhood. Like especially amongst us women, I think that we see the way we treat each other, the things we say about each other, the way body shaming or like being a mean girl, kind of comes up. So if you see your mom talking about other women in a very loving, uplifting, encouraging way, then we're going to continue to keep that same type of cycle. But if we're comparing each other, and we're how sometimes we as women can size each other up and just be like, okay, what she got on, what she's looking like, it just kind of basically sets the tone for how we raise our children. So I think it just depends on your experience and how you were raised.
For sure. I absolutely agree with that, Dion, for sure. So one of the things with communication too is body language and, interpersonal communication. And, a lot of times people talk about the face ministry. How we come off with our faces and all of that. And so in a relationship between a man and a woman, whether it's a partnership or it's business or whatever, how significant is that to you all, fellas? Like, are you watching your body language? Are you watching are you making sure to be aware of, like, I want to make sure I don't touch that person in the wrong way. I want to, all these different things when it comes to that interpersonal communication. Do you find yourself kind of, what's the term, code switching when it comes to a female versus a male? And ladies, same thing.
John, you in management, man, so I want to hear this one, man.
It's probably more important these days to be aware of the nonverbal communication, since you can't necessarily see people or hear their emotions all the time. Everything's virtual, so you kind of have to read on a screen more so. And once that Zoom session's over, you got to make heads or tails as to what were they trying to get across in that limited time frame. So from a relationship standpoint, yeah, the eyes tell it all. In my opinion, they can say something sweet, but have those eyes slanted or eyes rolling, so you're like, I don't really think they meant that the way that they said it. So it's a lot of give and take. It's a lot of making sure we're asking the right question and shutting up when it's time to listen. That I think is the most important piece of communication in a relationship. But the eyes tell it all. Corporate communication is a whole nother conversation for another day, as far as code switching and that. But it's still tough. It's tough to quote unquote read a woman's mind, and vice versa, because you never know what we're thinking. Even though we're saying one thing, we could be, on a completely different playing field.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, though, we try to assume what the other person means to say or wants to say. And we aren't, you said something key there, John. We don't listen enough. I know, like, in a lot of things that I do, I tell people to just shut up and just really listen, and not listen just to say you heard the noise, but listen for understanding. And I think that's probably the biggest roadblock to the sexes and just the people in general. But when you talk about understanding the opposite sex, we think we know all about men, and men think they know all about us. Or even more so, when you get really familiar with someone, you think you know them more than themselves. So a lot of times we don't listen as often as we probably should in our relationships.
Yeah. Ken said in our immature stages, it depends on if we're trying to impress upon her or not. Dion, were you going to say something?
I was, but go ahead because I think I lost my thought.
It'll come back. What about you, Troy or CK? What are your thoughts on that?
Kenya hit on something great, and obviously you've heard that 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listening is important, right? It's a skill, and in doing that, for me, it took time. You know, I stick on the relationship part because we had a brother on the show, Jannard. Y'all remember Jannard, man? What did he say? Assumicide? Yeah. So he said assumicide, and you think about it, you assume so much where your expectations are so high, you and that other person just doesn't live up to what you assumed.
Yeah.
Because there was never a conversation about it, or there was never an intimate conversation to really say how you feel. CK, we talk about this all the time. I don't know how your food tastes. You got to tell me. I can't chew it for you. So, you know, being in a space to be comfortable to do it, you know, and then being able to be vulnerable enough to do it, and then it not be belittled or judged.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I shut down. You know, 2 tears in a bucket. You know,
I remember what I was gonna say now.
I say again.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that I remember what I was gonna say because I think that what people need to realize with communication is that there's so many different parts to communication. Communication is not just you being able to to share how you feel or to talk or to speak. It's the dialogue going back and forth, and you know, listening obviously is a big part of that. But I think that, you know, comprehension and really hearing what a person is saying and processing it, you know, we just forget that there's so many different parts to communication. It's not just, you know, it going back and forth. So you know, once you actually understand what communication is and the different parts to it, then it starts to make sense as far as the different things that you have to do to really be able to hear someone effectively.
Yeah, that's so true. And a couple of people in the comments, I do switch my tone depending on who I'm talking to, but especially to men. That's one of the comments. Ken says, shut down. Most of us do, bro. Reginald Adams says stonewalling. And then Ken said, dang, Dion, he's crazy. That's funny. So
I think there's difference between opposite gender relationships, like John was alluding to, in like corporate versus personal relationships. So in corporate or just outside of any personal relationships, I do code switch too, I think, with men, because there's this thing of I know that not every conversation with men gets to be flirty or sexual or anything romantic, but I think there's a balance or this almost like caution not to lead men on, because like you really just want to have a conversation, then next thing you know somebody's asking you for your number and you're like, wait a minute, it wasn't, I wasn't trying to do that. I was genuinely asking you how your day was, and now you won't leave me alone at the gas station, right? So you know, there is this code switch to, and it almost comes off like I'm being a bitch because I don't know how to be nice without looking like I'm trying to flirt or like take it to the next level. Right. So it's hard. It's really hard because if I'm too nice, which I typically am, and I like to smile and I like to say hi to people, like I love to talk to people, but then someone's like, hey, yo, ma, let me get, no, I just wanted to pump gas. I just wanted to say hi.
You want to be his mama. You didn't want to be his mama.
No. I got 2 kids already. No.
Right. You're like, don't make eye contact.
Exactly. Right. But then that comes off as like, why are you being so mean? I'm not. Like, I can't win.
Yeah. You know, interpersonal and nonverbal communication is so important. You guys were talking about technology and how, I think it was John, how we're communicating a whole lot more through like email. And in this age, of course, now people are having whole full-fledged conversations and relationships through text, right? I know Kimberly hates that. Like, Kimberly hates when somebody tries to have a whole conversation with her through text. She absolutely hates that. But I get it because so much gets missing, right? Like if a person is having a bad day and they read something, they're reading it in their own voice, and that person might not mean what they think it is. And so relationships have been broken up or lost or what have you as a result of that nonverbal communication. I remember I sent an email to someone and I was just saying the facts, asking questions, whatever. And she took it she sent me an email back. Oh, that was so hurtful. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I just told you yesterday how much I value you, how much you mean to me, right? But because today I asked a question, you totally forgot everything I said yesterday because in your mind, I'm questioning you, right? And where does that come from? Like, if you ask a person a question, you shouldn't immediately go to the defense like something is wrong. So I said, you know what? Maybe I should put some emojis behind some of the things that I say because because I want her to not feel hurt.
Yeah, but that just comes from a place of insecurity. You know what I mean? From whatever, she wasn't comfortable with you asking her the question, so it
exactly.
Yeah,
and I can't do anything about that, right? Yeah. So I'm like, but I felt really bad.
Emojis to make her feel better,
right? I was like, but in emails, I'm not an emoji person. Like I'm not. Email to me is let me get this email right on text and stuff. You might see some emojis, Messenger. But not on email. And so I'm like, but the point is it negated I could have given her kudos and love and flowers all 6 days in a row. But that one email that I had a couple of questions, it's like she's taking the questions as a defense. And I'm like,
and actually, if you had a conversation with her over the phone, it could have possibly came over different than over email.
Yeah, and that's why I had to learn that I needed to talk with her more so on the phone than even emails. And we don't text at all. We didn't text at all. But we realized that because of her insecurities or whatever, that she does need communication over the phone. So sometimes you do have to adjust based on who you're dealing with. Communication with your mouth is only a small percentage. There's the communication of your eyes, body language, and then Ken said, oh, so that's why y'all be looking so hangry out here in these streets. And then Elton said, hey, Elton. Elton said, approach is everything. Okay. Choose words carefully or pick up the phone. Underlining code exists. And then Cheryl said, I try to always assume the positive. Yes, Cheryl. Until I can prove the negative in a conversation. I'm with her.
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yes.
This is my teacher coming out, and I had to look it up because it's been a while since I taught this. But there's a Moravian communication model, right? 7% of our communication is related to our feelings and attitudes that take place through the words that we actually say. But 38% is from tone and voice, and 55% is from body language. Yeah. So what we're actually saying really doesn't matter most of the time. It's about how we're saying and then how we look when we're saying it. So keep that in mind.
So when you think of an email, then that person has to think about then their tone that's in their mind because you're not there.
Right. Exactly. So they're interpreting it themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Kimberly, were you saying something?
Well, I was going to say, I'm reading a book now that said, it's a book called You Cannot Text a Tough Conversation.
No, yes.
And it's a great book. So if any of you out there, and it really deals with communication and the new form of way of communicating. And here's the problem I have with text message. And the ladies are right. I don't like text messages at all. I think text messages should be very to the point. I'm on my way. I'll see you in a few minutes. I'm running late. What do you want for dinner?
What you doing?
What you doing? I'm thinking of not even what you're doing because that requires a response. Like it should be like, okay, I'm on my way. I'm thinking about you today. You know, emojis, fun. These novels that come through text messages where people want to explode themselves out. And then what happens is that you don't give the person the
Preach, Kim.
opportunity to understand their tone and their heart. And that comes from having a relationship. Because when you read a text or an email, what you're doing is that you're self-projecting what you feel, what's inside on those words.
Yeah.
And you don't give you're holding a person in contempt for words that you already feel inside, or you feel a certain kind of way. So if I'm angry with you, Kenya, and you send me a message, you like, you know what? I think you should really try this. Well, I'm already ticked off at you, and you don't know I'm ticked off at you. So when you say, I think you really need to try this, and you're giving me some positive reinforcement, I can see it as a judgment.
Yeah.
Because I'm projecting what's already, I'm holding something inside. So I for those who are out there, if you're interested in dating me, don't freaking text me unless it's like, can I have your number? What time can I call you? Like, keep it simple. That's the old saying in the military. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
I agree. I think that text messaging is good for like the small talk kind of stuff and the flirty stuff. Like, you know, just thinking about you and, you know, how's your day going? Just thinking about you, you know, just those kind of short messages to let someone know that you're thinking about them, or to give them some details, some small details about, you know, what's going on, or to have, you know, to have some communication back and forth. I can get that. I'm with Kimberly, like on a difficult conversation, we need to, you know, pick up the phone and actually talk and be able to, you know, talk it through, because you're right. I need to be able to like hear your tone. I need to, you know, and even sometimes on FaceTime is good, you know, like I need to see your face, you know, so that I can see, you know, what your expressions are. You know, so you can see my expression, so you can see if I'm angry, I got one eyebrow up.
Well, how do the fellas feel about
the conversation?
How do the fellas feel about texting, like as far as being in a relationship and, you know, the whole nine? It seems to be in this dating age and this relationship age that it's preferred, but I know women get really frustrated. How do y'all feel about that?
What you got, Kurt?
So I want to get back on the first question first real quick. I think, and Troy can tell you this, we'll sit through a whole meeting and I may not say anything. Like I'm sitting there with my journal and I'm taking notes from everybody's body language. So I think that, like Kenya said, that's way more important. It's not what you say, it's what you didn't say. And the body gives it away. You can't lie. And I'm big on patterns too. Like I want to watch your patterns over a long period of time. But to answer the question with text, I love text because it's convenient, right? I don't want to waste my time through a long conversation when I'm busy. However, I don't think you should have a serious conversation over text, right? So I guess it depends on the relationship.
But how do you feel about breaking the ice to the as a prelude to a serious conversation? Because some people don't know how to approach it. So it could be a text of, hey, I've got some things on my mind. I'd love to talk, you know. Can we talk?
Yeah, I guess it depends on your relationship. Me personally, I don't like wasting time. So let's have this conversation.
Get to the point.
Yeah, I got things to do. So like,
well, so there's something, I think Ken said it earlier, you know, you can't communicate everyone can't communicate the way you want them to communicate to you. So you do have to meet in the middle with certain people, even if it irks you to communicate in that way.
So I think a love language, I think there's 5. I think number 6 is paying attention. And I think the great Nipsey Hussle said he paid attention to Lauren London so that she did not have to tell him what she needed. Okay. So pay attention. And I do that with all my relationships. And I think it's if you just pay attention, people will show you what they need.
This part for indirect conversation, like if for some reason there's someone that you're communicating with and they're terrible at communication, sometimes I would rather text them what I need to say to them instead of having a face-to-face conversation with them, because I know that they're terrible at it and they're not good listeners and they're not good receivers as far as like feedback. So I'll just send a text so that I know that I said what I said, and you
You know what the beauty is
to
of
have the conversation, but sometimes you have to have that delay, so there's that control of listening and the back and forth to be able to receive the information back. So that's just sometimes that I've seen in my experience, that sometimes I have had to use text to get a conversation through.
Yeah. I'd say the beauty of a text is you get to keep the receipts. And for me, I forget things a lot, so it's nice to go back and be like, remember you said this, like, this is where you wanted to, what you want to do.
Accountability.
Y'all know about screenshots. They know about screenshots.
That's what's up.
But it's important, and I'm learning that slowly but surely, as far as the good mornings, the good nights, how's your days. That's just as important when you don't have enough time for conversation.
For me, married man, it'll be 9 years in July. It's all about the spice. So that's my chat room. So you know what I mean? That's my chat room. So, but yeah, straight to the point. I'm with you, McGee. I don't need a novel. Get to the point. And if it is a novel, that's a conversation.
Exactly.
So Kenya, I get it. Hey, if that allows you to get to the conversation, use that as the bridge, another tool.
Yeah, I just recognize that some people need that. Like, I don't know that that's necessarily my style, but I recognize that some people need that. And I accept that, even though that's not how I would approach it. But I realize, okay, he needs this. So I'm going to allow him that space to get comfortable before we actually have a conversation. Yeah.
Well, I like how you said, Dion. I know they suck at it, so I'm not even going to try. And that's good to recognize that. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question about that. Then, when someone is really sucky at communicating, for me, I'm big on communicating, but I'm also like Cornelius. Like, let's get to the point. Say what you got to say, because I got stuff to do. Like, I don't want to hear you ramble on about this, that, and the other. Like, let's get down to the nit and grit. What is this all about? However, if I know you're bad at communicating, this is for those who are dating. I'm not talking about marriage, because now you're committed, you're chained together, work it out. But why are you wasting your time on someone who's a bad communicator when you know communication is key for you? If you know you are a communicator and you like someone who also is a communicator, stop wasting your time with people who aren't communicating. I had one guy tell me one time, he said, text works for me because I don't know how to communicate. And I said, thank you so much for your time. We are not a match. That's it. He said he wasn't good at communicating. He doesn't like to communicate. And I know at my age that is important to me. We can wrap this up. There's no need to go any further. Let's call it a night. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's just be friends and move on.
I think that goes to you knowing yourself, Kimberly. Like, a lot of younger women we have. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself, okay? Because I'm not gonna generalize. But I was in a mode of like, no, I mean, I can change him. No, I mean, we can work this out. It's okay. Yeah. But I didn't, I wasn't secure in myself enough to realize that this is not the only man that is going to be interested in me, or that I'll be interested in him. There'll be someone else, right?
Right.
So at a younger age, it was a lot of that.
And not even just that, just understanding compatibility and red flags and those things to actually look for when you are so young and you're starting out and you're going through those experiences. You unless you have someone in your life that has already had those experiences and kind of have schooled you on them, you're not really going to know. So, we walk into situations sometimes blindly because we don't know what those red flags are, or we don't know what those signs are for ineffective communication.
So when we talk about
can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Men are undefeated, like 1 million to 0. We do not. You can't change us. It doesn't happen. It's never happened. It will never happen. So for anybody listening,
but for some reason we always be thinking we the one.
No, you can't change. Like, listen, if I want to change for you, I would change for you.
That's
right. But you're not going to change me, and that's right. I don't care who the man or, and that goes for men and women.
That's
so.
Right. You know,
Yeah, we actually we get it at some point, Cornelius. You know, it take us about a time or two, but we get
well, you
there.
know,
Oh, you mean on the back end? On the back
Well-
end after you done wasted? Nah, yeah, no,
hello. Listen,
no.
Well, no, can we just pause there for a second? That's a huge nugget that you just dropped, right? Because
Yeah.
most women, whether you admit it or not, in the back of your mind, you believe that you can change a man to be who you need him to be.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
why we're
just,
saying that it's usually that we think that we're the special one. Something special
Right.
about us is going to
That
be
will-
the one that
right.
changes.
he will let you know that you're special. This is something my father would tell me. He would tell all his girls, "You're never gonna change a man." And then this is what he would say to us: "Would you want a woman to come in and change your father, or who I am?" He would ask us girls that, and we would be like, "No, because we love our dad. Like, you're great. Then you'll never change who you're with. Once you see who you with doesn't work for you, I'm giving you permission as your father to leave."
I
Yeah.
disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I do think people can change each other because you're changing every day, whether you realize it or not. You're either getting better or you're getting worse at something, based off of your repetition and doing a certain thing. Jaheim made a song saying, "I changed for you," and I do think the right woman and or the right man should make you better. It's so they're either making you better or they're making you worse somehow. I don't think we ever stay the same, whether we realize it or not. We might have.
so
Go ahead.
is it a change in behavior or a change in person?
I think the behavior will lead to the change in the person. You should become smarter in your relationship. Should become more knowledgeable about what to say, what not to say in different situations as you grow and love together. And so, if you are that same person, I would question whether or not you've truly looked deep into who you were before versus who you are now. So, I mean, in terms of some of the habits and the things that you like, that may not go away. You may, but in terms of who you are as a person, I do think that the right man or even the wrong man or woman can make you better or make you worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's too, back to Cornelius's point though, I think it's even in that it's a choice that you make. Like nobody, what changes you is that you love them, or that you see that this is hurting them, or that you see that, I care about this person. And so this hurts them, this affects them in this way or that way. I'm willing to adjust me as a result. But we can't come in and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna change him." And if he's not ready, or her, you men come in and say, "I'm gonna change her," and she's not ready. We have to get to that space ourselves and hope that to me, in my opinion, hope that our influence will, but back to your point, Kimberly, in the end, if it just isn't that person, if that person isn't your cup of tea, then that's it. In the end, that's it. And so how about we move on to, as we're talking about relationships, do men adjust behaviors and communication style based on gender? And I think, was it Lakeisha earlier that says that she does, especially when it comes to men? Do men do that? And how do you maintain communication on bad days when you're in a relationship and you don't want to take it out on that person that you're with? Fellas, go on.
All right,
Troy, we haven't heard anything from Troy in a minute. He's been married 10 years or so.
Yeah, I'm going on a decade,
Yeah, all right. How do you maintain communication on bad days when it comes to your wife?
Oh, man. I am a gifter. So I'm the one that, "You hungry?" So, that's always like the opening line when there's friction. Like I can slide in a "You hungry?" because in most cases you're going to answer that. So, and I'm hoping that the answer to that is something that we both like. That's when I know I'm in good graces. So, yeah, I'm a gifter. I do things to show kindness. Cornelius talked about love language. So, it may not, sometimes it's the little things. For me, it's the little things that show that you care, you're concerned. So yeah, that's how I tread the landmine of communication during those "I'm mad at you," We call it the onesie stage. You know, when she pulled the onesie out, that's a wrap. You might as well go on to bed. So, you know, that,
The moo-moo. The moo-moo.
Cornelius, were you about to say something? Like, so when you're having a bad day, so that you don't, we'll switch it up a little, so you don't take it out on your partner. How are you handling it, managing it?
So listen, I was married for 20 years, and I think that you're gonna have a lot of bad days. But I would go get in my car and drive off, so that I would stay away from the argument. But I think now I'm more mature. I think that it's common sense. You're gonna have those days, and I just apply grace. I'm not arguing. We're not arguing. Let's figure out what's going on. If it's something that I did personally, let's talk about it, right? And let me go ahead and apologize and tell you why it won't happen again, and let's move on to better days. I think it's just about communication is so important, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good answer. John, do you have any feedback?
You know, I would say to the question of do we talk differently? You know, absolutely. You know, there's a certain level of comfort that you have talk with your bro, you know, who's gone through similar experiences, and you could be a little bit more candid without having to worry about, you know, you worry about their feelings, but not really. You're not really having the convo with your brother to worry about their feelings. You're getting your stuff off of your chest.
Mm-hmm.
But from the flip side, when you're having dialogue with a female, especially in a relationship, you have to think through your feelings in a sense and filter your words a little bit so that you're not now having an argument about something you said that wasn't intended to get that way. You're just saying how you felt, not necessarily saying how you felt to cover how they may feel at that time. So you do have to, in some cases, watch your words a lot more carefully when you're speaking with the opposite sex, especially in a relationship. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Good stuff. Oh, you talked about getting with the bros versus the ladies. So is one of the things that we have as a question, and Kimberly maybe can address this a little bit. Is bromance a thing? Like, do y'all get offended when we use the term, when people use the term bromance? Kimberly, I think you had a story, a funny story about bromance.
Yes.
You want to share?
Let the brothers ask. I want to hear about this whole bromance situation.
Does that offend y'all when we say that?
I need an explanation. What does that mean?
Bromance. That's why I wanted Kimberly to share.
So a bromance is two guys that, okay. So, because he made me watching. I don't care. No. No. But a bromance is where two guys are always together, always doing something together. Even when they're married, they're at that person's house. They're constantly they're checking in with each other.
The priority,
their priorities is like such and such is gonna meet us for dinner, and such and such is gonna the name keeps coming up. It's almost like a romance. Like you check in with each other, you're there with each other all the time. So there's like no.
That sounds like a best friend 2.0. I got some homies, but I got some bros. I don't know no bromance.
Yeah, I think
what's the difference?
Also to follow up with that situation too, it's like you put your boys ahead of the lady in your life. You know what I'm saying? No. It's like it's like you got your bro on the pedestal and on the priority list over the one
I never
that
saw
you're
that.
with.
Well, I never saw that. They keep their women like right there with them, but their lives are intertwined, almost like a romance. It's just like they do things for each other.
My wife wouldn't have that. No.
Right, like wife would be cooking, and then brother man would be over there, and then the other wife would be cooking, or the other, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just
I would say you see that more before marriage. You have your homies that you're like, yo, I'm headed out to my man's house. We gonna play some. We may go to the club, or we may play some video games or something like that. But once you're married, your wife kind of cuts off your relationships a little bit. You stop seeing your bros as much as you may have before, especially once kids get involved, which I'm sure Troy and Kirk could speak to that a little bit more than I could. But you definitely don't see your people that you might have even had something like a bromance once you say those I do's. I can speak to that.
Yeah.
Elton said men need that getaway. Women, you can't replace it.
Well, here's a question I have for the men, which I do see this, John. JC, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, John JC, I don't even know sometimes. Go ahead.
So here's the question I have for you guys. Why does that happen? Because I see women, they can get married and still have their girl time with their girlfriends and go away and do things together and whoop it up. But I find that some men, when they get married, it's just like they shut the door and they don't do as much with their guy friends as they had used to. Like, play. Is it because of the wife, or is it just because you're now in this place of I'm settled, this is my life, I got kids, whatever.
Probably Troy would be a better.
I think it depends on the person. I mean, I agree with Elton. You do need that getaway. So, I think you have your core solid bros that, whether it's like you said, whether it be a cigar or having a conversation or going to the shooting range, whatever, whatever it is your thing is, and getting away, you still have your core network. But, it does change the relationship as far as John said. That's more of a bromance thing, that particular thing. I think that's more of a pre-marriage,
Yeah.
It's
Troy,
more
your
of a
mind got a
situation.
little bigger when you said marriage.
For some, I mean, I would.
Yeah. So when you talk about get away, I think that goes back to the top of the show when we were going to speak a little bit about mental health. Is that what that is? For, a lot of times guys don't really talk as much about mental health. It is becoming more open, or of an open conversation, more of a share lately, especially with all that's going on in the world, where men are beginning to talk a little bit more about mental health, self-care, those sort of things. So I think from my experience of self-care for men has been going and hang. I know fellas that will hang out at the barber shop like all day. As a hairstylist for years, when I was doing it full time and I worked in a barbershop experience as well, it could be fellas that came in there 8 o'clock in the morning and would be there just all day talking as if they clocked into work. I'm wondering if they telling their wives that like I'm at work. But is that, for the barbershop? I know another place that men talk about the man cave or going to the Carolina Ale House or whatever and just watching a game. So is that you all's more so version of self-care, or what are some other ways that you all, as fellas on here, representing the fellas for now, implement self-care? Man. All right, now we can't have space.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Go ahead, CK.
That's part of it. I'm really big on taking care of myself. Like, yeah, that's part of it. But like, too, I get pedicures. I want my feet to be right. So I don't think that it has to be that one way.
Yeah.
And I think men have to go out. I think men have to cut off friends, because when you get married, some of us have friends that aren't married.
Yeah.
And that shows up a lot different when you go hanging out. So
yeah. Elton said men take on an entirely different role when they get married. That's kind of to your point too. And then he said self-care is getting in your car and just driving alone. That's one way for self-care. I think you said that earlier, Cornelius, that's something that you did when you were married. What are some of the things that you guys do, John? And then maybe ladies, what's something that you encouraged your partner to do around self-care?
For me, it's I don't do it nearly enough, but I have my vices. I play video games. I tell my lady now, if I'm playing GTA, I probably had a tough day. Let me just shoot some people up for me. Let me steal some cars. I'll be back. But or 2K. Let me just play 3 games. Let me get 3 games in, and I'll be good. I'll be good. So
That's good.
yeah.
Troy.
I like to pamper myself. I do. At a young age, I was introduced to manicures, pedicures, massages. I love Groupon. Yeah, I'll go on there in a minute. Yo, let me grab that just for me.
Right.
But I know what I like. I'm in tune with me, and I
Love
do
that.
things that I like. I know what makes me feel happy. So, yeah, I think that's very important. And sometimes being alone is very good, and you should learn to do that effectively. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah, I was going to add on that. I think that, it's so good to just see the men taking care of themselves and, focusing on their own mental health as well. Because, we all need our own source of outlet, whether it's, working out at the gym. I see a lot of men, just hit the gym first thing in the morning. That's their outlet. Whether it's pampering and, getting those manicures and pedicures, we want you to, make sure that your toes are looking right too, because sometimes they can, so,
Let us up.
That's something that we do together as well.
Hey,
yes, I
my
love
wife
it.
said you can't be tearing up these sheets. You better get them claws cut. Stop
But I
playing.
want y'all to keep
These
your
silk
hammer
sheets, you
time.
over here tearing up
Keep
these
the
Freddy
hammer
Krueger
time
and these
under
sheets.
control.
Say what, Dion?
I said keep the hammer time under control.
Yes. So we are getting close to our time. We did have one more thing that we were going to talk about, but we can absolutely take that over to the next show, because I think we all said that we should do this again, right? Everybody's still in agreement now that we've gone through. Okay, so let's get in some truth or dare. So I had done this wheel, but I don't think it's going to work the way that I want it to work, because it's not showing big. So what we're gonna do is just everybody pull out our list, and we're just gonna randomly do it the old school way real quick. That sound good?
Okay. All right.
So are we volunteering to start first, ladies?
We started first last time, so let's let the fellas start. Yeah.
All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on. We gotta introduce it. Dun dun dun. Our next segment.
Speak your truth.
I'm scared.
Y'all see that? This is our next segment. Speak your truth. Truth or dare. All right.
Yeah, you said you
now,
scared.
what are the rules again? We can pass it to someone, or we can plead the fifth. What was it?
Truth or dare.
Truth or dare. So we're not doing the spin wheel. You just say just truth or dare. You choose truth or you choose dare. Okay. And then they'll choose a question that they want to ask, and then same thing with us. So just old school. We don't know what anybody is going to ask, so you just choose truth or dare. All right. And before we go to that, I just want to shout out one of our sponsors. Let me see if I can pull it up. One of our sponsors is Harlem Beer Distribution Company. So that's a Black-owned distribution company supporting Black-owned breweries. HarlemBeerNC.com is where you can go to find them. We love supporting Black-owned companies. We love and thank our sponsors for supporting us and being a part of all the things that we're doing. And so I want to shout them out. And then also Industry Image, Elton Benjamin. I actually accidentally put him in the background, Harlem Beer. But Industry Image is also another sponsor. They have supported us. They do our graphics. They work with us to make sure our branding is on point. So thank you to Industry Image for all that you do. And then as well, we also have Mastermind Productions that we want to be sure to thank, because Mastermind Productions generally does our production, our video, all of that. We've been working together on this thing since the beginning. So we just want to shout out our sponsors and our team because I think when we get into this truth or dare game, we might just forget to shout out our sponsors. And so let me make sure I got them all. I think I got them all for now. Please reach out to us if you would like to be a sponsor of the show. If you would like some advertising, please reach out to us. All right, let's get started.
Yay!
All right. So who's going first?
The men are going first.
All right. So, all right, fellas. Let's start with Cornelius. You got to ask one of us.
Sure.
Truth or dare.
So let's go with Kimberly. What is your biggest regret?
Which one?
Which
Kimberly?
McGee. Sorry.
Oh.
McGee.
What's my biggest regret? Gosh. Ooh.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
You chose truth or dare?
He didn't give her a chance to choose. He just told her.
You can wait to ask her.
Oh yeah, waiting for the. I'll take the truth.
Okay.
I think my biggest regret is not going to Broadway. Not going to when I was 18 years old. Not leaving home and going to Broadway and trying out for a Broadway show. That's my biggest regret.
Yep. Following your dreams.
Yeah, I got cast for a show and I didn't go.
Wow. What was the show?
It was off Broadway. It was just off Broadway show. It was, but yeah. I got casted for it, and my dad said, "No, you're gonna be broke for the rest of your life. Go get a job," and I did that, and that was my biggest regret.
Wow.
So Kimberly, it'll be your turn.
Okay, so wow, I forgot my questions. What was our questions? I am so sorry. I forgot where our questions were, Kimberly.
Kenya, you ready, or Dion?
Dion, yeah, less than.
I don't have
all right.
my phone.
All right.
I
So
mean,
Kenya.
my phone is
Yep.
showing. Yeah.
Cornelius, we'll go with you. Truth or dare?
Truth.
Truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever peed in the pool?
Yeah. Yeah. Who hasn't?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I thought that was where you're supposed to do it when you're in the pool. Yes. I have.
No.
Y'all have to stop playing.
Come on. There's no way in the world you ladies can tell me you've never peed in the pool.
I've never peed in the pool. I have never peed in the pool.
Who said that?
I've done a lot worse in the pool, so that's.
Oh Lord!
It was wild in the 80s.
Do tell.
What? I was in my 20s. Who has not ever had Cordis in a pool? Come on now.
Okay, so
come on, you've had
I have
Cordis
not.
in the pool.
John said lies.
Right.
Lies about us.
About what?
That you ain't never peed in the pool.
I have.
All right, fellas, it's one of y'all's turn. What is next?
Let's see what we got here. John, you gonna take this one, Jay?
Do we get to pick who answers the question, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go, Kenya. I got a question for you. What's your favorite part of your body?
Truth or dare?
Oh dang! All right.
you can't just be forcing.
You know what's on his mind.
I'm gonna pick a different question, maybe, or if you pick truth or dare.
Oh Lord. Truth.
All right. Tell us the worst date you've ever been on.
What do you say?
What's
The worst date I've ever been on. So I hadn't been on very many dates, so we'll just say that. So I hadn't had a really worst date. I think it was a more uncomfortable date, and it was because I went on a date with a white guy, and everyone in the restaurant stared at us, and I couldn't handle it, and so we never went out again. But I really liked him, but I just couldn't handle the stares. So I don't know if that's the worst date. I guess I'm fortunate not to have a worst date experience, but that's my worst date.
Okay.
All right. Next.
I'll go next. I don't have my questions in front of me, but I do remember one. So I will. Let's see. I'll go with Troy. Truth or dare.
I'm gonna live dangerously. Dare.
Okay. I dare you to sing a song.
All right, I got one for you. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. This is for Kim, right? This is for Kim all day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus walks, when Jesus walks, oh, when he walks, when Jesus walks, he washed my sins away. Oh, happy day. Oh,
Okay, so we went all the way to the end too. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good right there. That was good.
He's committed. All right. Is it our turn?
Yeah.
So me. All right. So
No, it's
I
the
just
fella's
wait, my
turn.
turn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
All right,
multitasking.
who didn't go? Who didn't go? McGee, you didn't go. Did you go? Did you go yet, McGee?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
You
did.
did? Dion, did you go?
No, I didn't go yet.
All right, I got one for you, D. I got one for you, D. Okay.
All right.
Truth or dare?
Wait, do I get to choose truth or dare?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me go with truth.
All right, let me see. What is a secret you kept from your parents?
A secret I kept from my parents. Wow, a secret that I kept from my parents is traveling to South Beach, Miami, and all the people that we would just hang out with on South Beach, Miami Strip, and just be going crazy and wild just through college. So yeah, that's just bad, just all bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, of course, my parents did not know about that.
All right. Okay. Whose turn is it now?
It's
Our
the
turn.
lady's turn to ask.
All right. Kenya? Is it Kenya?
I asked the first question. Did I not?
My turn?
Yeah, it's
Go
your
ahead,
turn.
Kimberly, yeah.
All right. Who hasn't gone?
I haven't asked a question, but I've answered one. Go ahead.
All right. So truth or dare to John?
I'll go truth.
Truth. All right. Some good truth. Oh, I got one. Have you hold on, let me read it.
Uh-oh, she's gonna get me in trouble.
Have you ever been in a relationship that you hid from everyone because you were kind of embarrassed by the person?
Yeah. I have.
Okay.
Back in my early 20s, you know, I played wingman a lot, and I've been in, and it was around the UNCG campus, which was a lot of international women frequented the UNCG campus. So let's just say I've taken some on the chin from my fellas that I wouldn't have shared those details to.
Ooh. He was like,
Yeah.
I was planning to take that to the grave.
Yeah, one lady in particular had her mouth wired shut, but
Whoa.
her friend wouldn't leave without her. So I was like, all right, man. I guess I'll keep her company while you do your thing, man. So and then that turned into more of a relationship with her homie than I would have liked. So yeah.
I think it's Cornelius. Is it John or Cornelius's turn?
Go ahead, Kurt. You got a question? Oh, I got one if you don't, because I got to get it back for that one. So, truth or dare? I don't think you've answered the question yet, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, correct.
No, dare.
Okay, all right. I figured you'd go dare, so I got something for you.
I told y'all that.
I want you to bust out 30 seconds of your best old school dance move. You know, I'm talking Cabbage Patch. I'm talking Running Man. I want you to back the chair up and give me 30 seconds of your best old school dance move.
We need some music.
Oh, wait a minute. I got the
Club girls. We gotta say go, Kim.
Okay, I got. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I got some music. Hold on.
Okay.
Go, Kim. Go, Kim.
All right.
Good job.
That was dope.
Got me some exercise in.
That was good.
All right. Last but not least, Kimberly.
Okay, so my question, I'm gonna take it back to CK. Let me see. Truth or dare?
Truth.
Okay. Who was the last person you creeped on social media?
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, wait a minute. Who's the last person you creeped with on social media?
You gotta define creep. What's
Is that
creep
like
mean?
stalked?
Oh, come on. We know what creeping is. You checking their status. You seeing what they doing. You want to know where they at. What they doing. What's going on? Where you been? Who you with? What you been hanging out with? What
No,
you been doing?
I have. Listen, I creep all the time, but not like that. All right. So not like that. But no. I mean, I'm on. So y'all know this. I'm on social a lot. I'm on all y'all pages, but for different reasons. Right? So does that a good answer? That's
That's a smart answer. It's a smart answer.
He's a polygamous.
No, that's running for president answer.
Right.
That's running for president.
It's a very
answer.
political answer.
That's a very
Run for
political
office.
correct. Yeah, you running for office.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, nice save. You did a good job. Nice save. You did a good job.
Well, we thank you. We thank you, fellas, for joining us on the show this evening. Hey, go ahead and let me know, how can people get in contact with you all so I can go ahead and put that in the comments or in the banner?
Well, you know, we're on Instagram at Bro Code Show. So BROCODESHOW. My handle is at Troy Jermaine Johnson. So Troy like the movie, Jermaine like the singer from the Jackson 5, and Johnson like the baby powder.
So Instagram at Bro Code Show. And then what about Facebook?
You can reach us on the book too, man. I'm Troy Johnson, man. You know, I'm on Facebook at Troy J Johnson as well.
Okay. What about anybody else want to share theirs, or are you good to go?
You can find me on Instagram at Jocosm, at JOCOSM, or Kingdom Realty Group, LLC.
Oh, we got some feedback. This was so awesome. Love the unisex conversations.
Yay.
CK, you got some information you want to share?
No, it was great being on your show. Like I said, this is on my bucket list, so I'm good. But I'm gonna put my information in the chat.
Yes, please. And fellas, if you could do the same, John, and if you could do the same, Troy, that'd be great. We love to share. Oh, thank you. I see that John put it over here. All right, so we are wrapping up. And thank you all for joining us this evening. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you for being a part of the fun that we are having. And you can look forward to us having more fun. Hopefully, really soon. We got to figure out when we'll be joining their show at some point. We're going to close out with a couple of announcements, things that you want to be sure to check out. First of all, Kenya, the beautiful Kenya Thompson, has a show that happens. Oh, it was so good this past week.
Oh, it was excellent.
It was excellent. She does an excellent job.
Yeah.
And so please check out her show. This coming up Thursday, March the 4th at 6:30. She's going to have Nakia Wilkinson Pickett, Protecting Your Health. And this is a healthcare attorney. I love it. I've never met a healthcare attorney.
Neither have I.
And then I will be relaunching my podcast. And it is taking an upgrade, the Ultimate Fan Club. So Friends Accountability Networking Podcast that will launch on March the 4th. March the 1st, this Monday at 8:00. So upgraded that a little bit. I'm excited about it. We're going to see some new things this go round. We're going to be talking about communication, finance, marketing, leadership, business scalability, and building relationships. And I'm bringing my Friends Accountability Network. Guys, how many people do you know that your network is your network is your net worth? So I'm excited about that. Join me on Monday right back here at Coffee and Collaborations. So we'll be back March 27th. We'll be back here for another show. Follow us at Love and Flow TV on Facebook and Instagram. We have a group on Facebook and a page on Instagram. So make sure to follow us, stay plugged in, follow the Bro Code Show. Any closing remarks, lady?
It was fun. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you for watching. And thank you
Thanks
for
for having
being
us.
so supportive.
Awesome. Also, well, fellas, hang around. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast. You all have a great rest of your Saturday evening. We'll see you next time.